Black people are lavish spenders. They spend money on hair, on jewelry, on clothes. They spend lavishly way more than any other group. I'm here to debunk that myth. And listen, it's not my work, it's research from the Census Bureau. The persistent myth that Black people are lavish spenders is just simply not true. Yes, the Census Bureau did a survey, and it showed that at similar incomes, Black households spend a smaller share of their income than white households. Although more of the Black dollar goes towards the basics: housing, healthcare, education. We cannot ignore the numbers, and this is what the numbers say. Black households make up 13.4% of the population, but only make up 9.9% of total consumer expenditures. And here's the thing, according to the data, Black households actually spend less on non-essential items. Less on non-essential items. So where is the money going if we're spending less? Well, if you remember, I mentioned that a larger portion of our money goes towards the basics, like household expenditures, healthcare, education, right? Well, since costs of the basics are steadily rising, it's eating up a larger portion of the Black household budget. In the 80s, those categories that I just mentioned made up 38% of the family budget. But now it's taking up 45% of the family budget. Yeah, that's a big change. But that is not actually the major reason why Black households spend less on non-essential items. The real reason will shock you. Why is that? Well, it's because it's something that is so natural for us to do that we barely even notice that we're doing it. In addition to those basics being more costly, taking more of the Black family budget, Black families extend more support financially to extended family members. About 45% of Black college-educated households gave financial support to other family members. But for white people, only 16% of those college-educated families gave money to support extended family members. This causes more Black families' money to be tied up. Is it spoiling? You know, there's a fine line between helping out a family member and being a constant source of financial support for extended family members. It gets to a point where are you actually depriving that person of finding their stability, of growing as a person, of maturing as a person so that they can consistently provide for themselves? And I know there are times where you have to give to family members because they can't take care of themselves or there's a one-off thing that happens, but what we're seeing is that there's a consistent support given more so in Black families than there are in other households. And when we think about the things that are stopping us from building wealth, we have to think about these things that we may have on autopilot or may come very natural to us. What if for certain family members, you didn't give as often? What is it going to force them to do? It's going to force them to get it together. It's going to force them to mature, to grow, to be a little uncomfortable, but it'll eventually make them stronger. So while it might hurt and it might be a little uncomfortable to see them go through some painful experiences or some uncomfortable experiences, in the long run, could it be more helpful to that family member? They're going to be able to provide for their own, ultimately lifting up their family and lifting up the Black community one by one. I mean, if this is saying that about 45% of Black families are providing financial support to other family members, that frees up some money and it allows that person to take their lives and their destiny into their own hands and grow, even if it is uncomfortable. Since Black households are more likely to financially support other extended family members, whether that's a cousin, a nephew, etc., there are greater demands on the Black household paycheck, which is already smaller than the white household paycheck. Because of this, Black households are more likely to take on debt, mainly including auto loans. Silver lining in this is that from this data, it does show that Black households are less likely to use credit cards. In one survey, a large portion of Black respondents said that they wanted to avoid debt as their reason for not having them. So we've got to give ourselves credit here. We're doing much better. We aren't lavishly spending above any other racial groups at the same income level. In fact, we spend less on non-essential items. But the real lesson here is that we don't spend as much because much more of our money is going toward financial support of extended family members. While I do believe in helping family and I help family myself, this is something to be mindful of as we achieve wealth building. Thinking about how often you're extending that financial support, thinking about whether or not it's something that is entitled or something that is on autopilot. Are you creating a situation where that person doesn't really have the opportunity to create upward mobility for themselves? Is it really your place to be giving the amounts and as often as you do? And how is that impacting your quality of life when you really look at your budget and the amounts? Because again, if it's second nature, maybe you're not tracking it. And when we look at the stats, 45% of Black families are doing this as compared to 16% of white families. Ultimately, we can put to bed the myth that Black people are just big spenders. We just spend crazy over here and over there. And, oh, we spend so much on hair, we spend so much on jewelry, we spend so much on all of the things. No more than any other racial group at our same income level. Like I said, in fact, we spend a little bit less. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.